My Little Pony Equestria Girls, the franchise that made me into who I am today. Being completely honest, I love these movies. They may or may not be my ultimate comfort films right now, and if you're a frequent of my channel, you probably already know that. But despite my blinding nostalgia and current enjoyment of these films, I still cannot vouch for the character designs in these movies. I can't do it. I'm sorry. A lot of people have already talked about all the problems and the nitpicks that they have with the main 6 designs, and I mean, that's pretty much what I talked about in part 1 of this video. But today, I want to shift our focus away from the main cast and look at some lesser known but still equally as iconic characters. Those being Sunset Shimmer, Starlight Glimmer, and Trixie Lulamoon. Though these characters play varying roles in the story of Equestria Girls, from being a main character to being pretty much irrelevant, I still think they all deserve better and more appropriate designs for their characters. So let's go ahead and get into the redesigns. Oh, wait, I think I'm missing someone. What? Who are you? Oh! Right, you're this video's sponsor, Unveil. So sorry about that. Let me introduce you real quick. If you've been active in the YouTube art scene recently, you've probably heard of this website already, and for good reason. Unveil is an easy-to-use platform for artists where you can show off your characters, story concepts, and basically just have another place to yap about your OCs. Every character profile includes an art gallery, color theme choices, a character credit section, and a couple of different ways for you to write about your character. Those being a lengthy essay form or a traits list for you to fill out. I had a lot of fun playing around with the traits list for my characters, to be honest. And if your characters exist in the same universe, Unveil has a way for you to organize them into different worlds, which is so convenient considering I have 5 million different storylines going through my head, and being able to sort them out like that is a lifesaver. There's no referral code or fee needed to create an account, and arguably the best thing about this site is that the people behind it are completely anti-AI and anti-NFT, which means your art is safe in their loving hands. If you're interested in Unveil, there will be a link at the top of the description to the site, so go check it out! Thank you so much to Unveil for sponsoring this video, and now let's get into the first redesign. The first character I'm redesigning is Sunset Shimmer, the quintessential mean girl turned good. I'm a big fan of her character and her arc throughout the Equestria Girls movies, and honestly, I think she may be the best thing to come out of this series. But the designs that they gave this girl. What are some of these, honestly? I think some of them are fine, but the one thing that throws me off with most of the designs they've made for her are the colors that they chose to use. So that's the main thing I'm looking to fix here. The bright colors of her hair and eyes look nice on her pony design, but the moment they started on the human version, I don't know who approved this, but they decided to add purple and orange to this already clashing color palette, which just clutters everything up. It's too much to look at. Luckily, as the movies and franchise progressed, they kept changing her wardrobe, and honestly, it got a lot better. It never got perfect, but they got pretty close. So let me talk about my general changes and design. The most important thing to note is that my Sunset design represents her character after the first Equestria Girls movie. So this is not for her when she's the top mean girl of the school, it's for her after she's made that transformation. And my main 2 ideas going into this were to give her short hair and to get rid of any shade of purple. The short hair was to symbolize her change over her character art, but as for getting rid of the purple... okay. I think the reason purple was even there in the first place is because purple is kind of associated with mystery, royalty, and even sometimes villainy, which all kind of represented her character in the first movie. But after the first film, she doesn't really reflect any of those traits. So for one, there's not even a good reason for it to be there anymore. And 2, it just doesn't look good with her hair and eyes, and I wanted to keep those colors the same. So we're getting it out of there. I sound like a huge purple hater right now. I promise I'm not one. I just think it doesn't suit Sunset Shimmer. As for her hair and eye colors, some people on Instagram and YouTube said I should get rid of the ketchup and mustard palette that she has going on there. Which, honestly, fair. I see why y'all don't like it. But I decided not to get rid of it because before I started working on the human designs for these characters, I actually went back and I tried redesigning / just redrawing the pony forms while giving them my own personal headcanons and colors. I did this so I could have a better and simpler understanding of what I wanted the humans to look like. And what I did for Sunset's pony form was I kept the overall palette generally the same. I just made the red more of a pink, I shifted the yellow a bit towards orange, and I made her eyes a bright blue instead of a teal. I also just desaturated all the colors a little bit because her original design is so bright, they definitely needed it. I've seen some people change this palette a lot more, but to me, I just felt like her hair and eye colors were too iconic to get rid of. So I just made some tiny adjustments. I didn't want it to be too drastic of a change, you know? Okay, outfit time. Gonna be so real, I based most of my outfit for her off of her design in Equestria Girls friendship games. There's definitely a lot of things about it that I tried to fix, but it still has my favorite design out of all of the canon ones. And I think that's mainly because they replaced what would usually be a purple accent with a lighter teal, which is a color that complements her eyes a lot. She definitely needed a wardrobe change from the first two movies, and I really liked the direction they went with this outfit, so I took it and ran with it. My main critique with her friendship games look is that though they try to keep some elements of her edgier and past design with the leather jacket and whatever these boots are, I feel like the weird lacy dress and jeans combination kinda takes away from the more alternative elements and is maybe just a little bit of a crime against fashion. Seriously, where was Rarity when she was wearing this? Why didn't she do anything? So I made her leather jacket with a stripe into just a plain kind of cropped leather jacket, and I also turned the jacket collar back down because why was it even up in the first place? I also turned the dress into a cropped cami top, and I removed the lace because I felt like it was a little too much. I kept her jeans, except I gave her a black grommet belt and I added some red and fiery accents to it, just to make it look a little bit more interesting. And I gave her a simple gold necklace just because I thought it looked cute. I'll finish this section by talking about my pony design a little bit. Overall, I already really like Sunset's pony design, but I wanted to change it up a little bit just for fun. And I also wanted to change up the pony body types for each pony, if that makes sense, so I'm gonna be doing that. Like I did with the human design, I completely shifted all of the colors so they clashed a bit less. I'm gonna be so real, I'm a huge fan of this color palette, I think it looks really good. I'm really proud of it. I added some lighter markings along her body just because I thought they looked cute and added a little bit of spice to the design. It's nothing too drastic, I've just seen other people add markings like this and I wanted to try it out for myself. Honestly, designing all of the characters' pony forms was probably my favorite part of making this video. I also changed her hair silhouette and shape a tiny bit. Overall, I didn't make any drastic changes with her design, but it's enough to be noticeable. Anyways, here is the finished Sunset Shimmer. Bad girl turned good, I love her! And I also love how this piece turned out. Let me know what you think in the comments, if you like it or if you would have done anything differently. And now on to the next great and powerful redesign. You've probably already guessed who's up next, and yes, it is Trixie. Trixie Lulamoon. As I made the art for this video, I went back and I rewatched seasons 1 through 3 of Friendship is Magic, and it's safe to say, I love Trixie, I love her so much. She's so extra and so fun, which is why I absolutely hate her Equestria Girls design. This isn't even a case of, oh, well, I like the general idea of it, I think with a few tweaks it makes sense. No, this genuinely does not represent her character. I think the only things that work about it are her star hair clip and her skirt, and the only reason she had a skirt in the first place was because that's what all the female characters were wearing. I don't want to be super negative, but I'm really not a fan of this, I'm sorry. However, to give credit to the designers, she did take me the longest to find a design I was happy with, like a long time. So let's just jump into that. As I'm recording this audio, I'm not sure if I'm going to be showing off the draft speed paints of her design, but let's just say I had a lot of trouble finding an idea and sticking with it. Whenever I ask people what they were expecting for a Trixie redesign, most people said they thought she should have a Whimsigoth outfit, which I personally love this aesthetic, like it is so pretty, and I thought it really fit her, so that's what I wanted to go with. And then I designed it. My first draft of it was okay. Overall, I was happy with it, but I knew I needed to fix it up a lot. And then when I tried to fix it up, let's just say it did not go the way I was expecting. I worked on it for a few hours straight, and never really came up with something that I loved, and I was feeling pretty defeated about it because I had worked really hard. I really wanted it to be Whimsigoth, but it wasn't working out the way I wanted it to. That is until I actually went back and rewatched the first Trixie episode of Friendship is Magic, which reminded me that she's basically a magician. And then a light bulb went off in my head, and I was like, wait a minute, I want to do that. I want to make her a magician. Why didn't I think of this before? So I got rid of the whole Whimsigoth look, as y'all can probably already tell, and I opted to give her a nerdier, more flashy design that screamed, hey, look at me, I could pull a rabbit out of a hat. It is definitely a stark change from Whimsigoth, and I still think that aesthetic suits her, but I don't know, I had a lot more fun with this design. So let me go ahead and get into it. The longer hair I gave her on my first draft design was fine. At the very least, it was a step up from the bald spot looking hair that they gave her in the movies. But after doing a little doodle of what her magician design was looking like in my head, I realized giving her shorter hair might actually fit a bit more. So I gave her hair a pretty similar look to her pony forms, just if it was shorter and a bit curlier at the ends. And I also made it a bit more of a light blue rather than a white. As for her outfit, I kept the overall palette relatively simple. Unlike with Sunset Shimmer, I actually really like the color palette that Trixie already has, so I didn't change too much about it, I just shifted around where the colors were. And then I gave her a simple white button up top with a bright yellow bow tie and a purple star patterned vest, which is supposed to be a callback to her magician outfit in Friendship is Magic. It's not the exact same pattern or colors, but I think it looks similar enough. And then I gave her a pair of blue pants, just so we had a bit more blue in the design, since, you know, she's blue. And her shoes are just some plain, like, men work shoes. I don't really know what they are, to be honest. I just looked up magician outfit shoes and I rolled with what I saw. And then I gave her some sparkly gold dangly earrings because I thought they looked pretty and I'm a sucker for earrings like this. I think even if her ears aren't showing in the design, I'd still show them off because I love them. This whole design change is definitely a stark contrast from Whimsigoth, I know that, and honestly, Whimsigoth Trixie still lives on in my heart. I kinda wanna draw her one day, but I don't know, Magician Trixie, she just screams something to me. And I also think this design for Trixie complements my Starlight design a lot more, which of course is the next pony we're going to be getting into. As for Trixie's pony form, I didn't change too much. Her hair is slightly shorter just to fit better with her human form, and I added some darker accents along her body because I thought it was cute. And at the ends of all of her legs, I gave her some star patterns because pretty and I love stars. Most of my decisions for the pony designs are self-indulgent, y'all. I'm gonna be so real. Anyways, here is the finished Trixie, the great and powerful Trixie. I love her. I love my chaotic neutral antagonists. Let me know what you think of her, and now onto the last redesign. It's time to look at Starlight Glimmer. It's been 9 years since her original episodes released, and I am still not over the fact that My Little Pony just so casually had 2 episodes about this girl running a cult. And you know what? Good for Starlight. I love her, and I love Trixie, and historians will say they were best friends. Before I get into the design, I will say that she was the last character I drew for this video, and because I was starting to feel just a little bit stressed about when I was gonna get this video out, I decided it would be best just for me to draw her human redesign and nothing else. And I'm glad it was Starlight who ended up without a pony redesign because I had the least amount of ideas for her pony form. I think she's perfect as is. You'll see me sketching the pony, but alas, she does not get finished. Anyways, just taking a look at her Equestria Girls design, it kind of leaves me in a state of shock just how out of character it is. You're telling me the same woman who enslaved an entire town and brainwashed a whole community of people canonically dresses like a colorful 2014 Tumblr hipster chick? I'm not buying it. I don't like the shirt, I don't like the pants, and the beanie. Why a beanie? I feel like I keep being negative throughout this video, and I feel bad about it, but I cannot stand for this design. I can't defend it. Out of all of the ones we've seen in this video, it's the worst. I'm sorry. But I think I fixed it. Hopefully. Like with Sunset Shimmer, this character design is for her character after her transformation from bad to good. And like with Trixie, I struggled a lot with my ideas for her. For my Sunset and Trixie redesigns, I went into the art for them not knowing exactly what I was going to do, but I at least had a general idea of what I wanted. But with Starlight, I went into it having no clue about what I was gonna do. I didn't know what aesthetic or fashion style would suit her. It had been a while since I'd watched any of her episodes in Friendship is Magic. So basically, the only standard I had for what her human design should look like was that I just wanted it to be better than the canon one. That was it. So to refresh my memory and help me with the redesign, I watched some Starlight clip compilations on YouTube since I'm rewatching Friendship is Magic and I didn't want to watch an episode out of order. And something about her, I don't know what it was, but it told me to make her human form look kind of 80s inspired. I think I thought about this because out of all of the main 7 characters, I've always thought of her as being the oldest. And I think because of her ties to basically being a child-friendly cult leader, it reminded me of like the 80s satanic panic. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's how my brain connected the dots, and that's what I went with. Keep in mind, Starlight's outfit is not intended to be 100% accurate to 80s fashion. It's more so just inspired by it. Or more accurately, more inspired by what I saw on Pinterest when I looked up 80s fashion. Anyways, let me talk it through. I didn't really change the color palette too much from her pony design. However, I think the colors do stray a bit from her human form. Since I've been giving these characters actual skin tones, I could get away with adding a lot more purple in her outfit, whereas with the actual Equestria Girls design, her skin is quite literally purple, so they had to add more teal into the outfit. Honestly, I think the colors they use for her clothes are atrocious, so I pretty much just ignored that palette. For her hair, I kept her colors the same, but I changed the hairstyle to be a bit more bouncy and flowy. I think it looks a lot more 80s-esque that way. Despite me hating on the Equestria Girls form, I think the hair that they gave her is already really good, but I wanted to put my own spin on it anyways. As for her outfit, she has a big shoulder-padded purple suit with a white button-up underneath it. Her brooch and belt both have a teal gem in it because pretty and, teal, that's a color I wanted to include. Her pants are a dark purple and her shoes are purple too. I don't really know what's going on with them. I really need to practice shoes more. And honestly, I don't have too much more to say about her, so here's the final Starlight design. Even though I did rush her a bit compared to the other characters, I'm still really satisfied with how she came out. Let me know what you think about her, and now, here are all the finished redesigns. I'm gonna be so real, I am really happy with how these turned out. Compared to the designs I made a few months ago in part 1 of this video, I think my growth in art and character design is pretty evident here, even if it isn't by an insane amount. Will I ever make a part 3 for this video series? I don't know. If enough people want it, then maybe. But for now, enjoy what you have. Part of me wants to continue drawing these character designs even off of YouTube, so who knows? Maybe I'll be making more art for them anyways. Also, real quick, I want to say thank y'all for 60k and for all of the support I got on my Pinterest video. I was so nervous to release that one, and it took me so long to make. So to see so many people resonate with it and enjoy it, I'm really grateful. Like, I don't know how else I can explain it. It just thank y'all. Anyways, if you want to see more content from me, I have a Patreon, my $10 patrons being up on screen right now. Thank y'all for y'all's support. And I also have an Instagram and Pinterest you can follow. I'll be posting the finished pieces there. And for now, I'll see y'all in the next one.